Hi, I'm Bill Lancaster, and I'll be your host for this video on using the Beall buffing system. This is my first time to use the Beall, so I'm going to be learning along with you, but bear with me. And I've looked at some YouTube videos and talked with friends about how they do this, and I at least have a starting way of going about doing it. What I'm using is, I'll show you the box. It's this Beall buffing system. And with it, you get the you get this long. Well, you get a short extension. I have bought this long extension because I thought it would be a lot better, and it is. With a deep bow, you really need this longer stem on it. It just screws right on your spindle. You have to get it specific for your particular lathe. This is the Powermatic 3520. And with it, you also get these buffing wheels. This is the Tripoli wheel, and then you also get the white diamond wheel, and finally there's a wax wheel. They're all made of a different material and do different things. I'm going to be buffing today a bow, this cherry bow, which is really a 12-inch cherry bow. I've worked a lot on this bow. I showed it to you in a previous video because I didn't like the way it was sitting on the table. It didn't lift up from the table, so I put this tiger maple base on it, and that is going to help it lift off the table. You'll see I've finished this thing with water locks. This is the water locks original high gloss finish. They've been around a long time. It's a tung oil based finish. They've been around, they say, since 1910. And I believe they really have. Water locks means it locks out water. That's how I guess its name. It's really based on mineral spirits, so it's not exactly water based. It's mineral spirits based. But anyway, I have this cherry bowl I'm going to be buffing today. I have put like 5 coats of water locks on it. The first 2 I put with a foam brush, which is not their recommended brush, but I thought it worked pretty well. But it went on pretty thick, and so I got some ponding in it, and I had to sand that out. And I think you might be able to see here a little bit of roughness in it. I'm hoping that the buffing system will take that roughness out. I have sanded it just a few minutes ago lightly with a 600 grit sandpaper. You'll see some little grit marks in the water locks. I'm hoping that the water locks and the wax will cover that up, and we'll be in good shape. I'm using the big round wheels really made for the outside of a bow on the inside, because this is so large. I think I can do it. So be sure you watch the lathe safety video, mine or somebody else's, before you tackle this kind of job, and we'll see what we can do with it. We're going to start with the Tripoli, and then go to the white diamond, and then to the wax. This is a carnauba wax. We'll put this camera here on this stand to hold it, and we're going to try to do this thing in a way that you can see it. I'm going to dip this thing down and try to get this thing positioned so you can see this thing better. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I know you're going crazy over there with this thing going around and around. I'll try to get this thing positioned right so you can see it better, and I'm going to get that thing pointed right at the wheels. So put the Tripoli wheel on here first. Yeah, I need 2 hands for this. There you go. You really want to run this thing at about almost 1700 RPM for the wax. So I'm going to have to change my belt up to the high speed. I use it on the high torque setting, which is a low speed setting. I'm going to put it on the high speed setting. Just lock it up. Move the belt over. Get it positioned properly. Let the motor back down. Get that positioned right. Lock it in place. I think that's right. Now, I'm going to load the buffing wheel with the AAA, and you do this. Get my safety shield on. If I can do this without muffling the sound too much. Also, it's good to wear a mask with this. Get a mask here. My sound might really be muffled with this thing going on, but let's try it. Okay, I've got a mask on, I've got the safety shield on. Let's try to get this thing going. That's going at about 800 RPM. I'm just going to run it fairly fast to get this thing started. When you first buy these wheels, you actually put some sandpaper on them and sand them with 100 grit to kind of get the rough stuff taken off. So get a little bit more. I honestly don't know. I've asked people how much material to put on there, and they have told me just a little bit of the wax, and I think you just put a little bit of the other things too. Now you got to grip your bowl very, very tightly because this thing can snatch it out of your hands. So I'm going to hold it here tightly and turn it around the rim to get that done first. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Just a little bit of pressure. I'm going to run it a little bit faster. It's now at about 1,000 RPM, 1,200. Go around the edge here. Holding on to it good. You don't want that thing to catch the rim. So I've got the rim turning the other way so it doesn't catch. And we'll do this part of the bow right here. Holding it tight. Remember where you started so you can kind of go around to the finish. That Waterlox finish has a high gloss on it already, so this is going to add a little gloss to it, or we'll see what it does, but I think it's going to add a little gloss to it. Let's take that off. Okay. Now I'm going to do the inside. I've got to really hold this thing tight for the inside. They make a little buffing ball to do the inside of bowls. This is such a big bowl, I thought I could do it with the big wheel. So I'm trying that. And I have only one of the little balls, so I'm not using that on this. Now I'm going to load a little more AAA on here and then try that area that has the roughness in it. It's right down inside here. Hold it tight. See if I can get to it right there. I think it's better. Yeah, I think it's coming along. I'll show it to you in a second. Gotta make sure I get all the surfaces buffed and the center. Do this edge here. I've hit my finger on the wheel a time or two, and it doesn't really hurt, so that's good to know. But I don't want to stick it in there too hard, for sure. Okay, let's see what we got now. Let's try to blow out the residue. What you hear there is my compressor going. It'll stop in a second. I don't know if you can see this or not. I still can feel a little bit of the ridges there, but it's extremely smooth otherwise. And so I think it's doing pretty well. I'm going to keep going with it and try the white diamond. There's a little roughness there I can just feel. So let's go try the white diamond. I didn't have it running at 1700, which is what they recommend. At running at about 1300. Let's take this one off and put the white diamond on it. Now I'm just going to touch it with a little stuff, white diamond material. That's running at 1500. Just a few seconds of material. I'm going to try the inside first to see if it's going to cure my problem. I'm holding it as securely as I can, make sure it doesn't get away from me. Well, that's better. That's actually better. Let me try another couple of goes at it here and get the center too. And take another round around here. I forgot to do the rim with the triple E. I'm going to come back and do it with the white diamond. Boy, it's feeling really good. Now, to do the rim, you just want to make sure you start. Okay, looking pretty good. Now, let's try the outside. This thing feels really wonderful where I've buffed it, and what you have to do is make sure you've let the your finish cure not just dry to the touch, but actually cure so that it's hard. And you don't want to buff this thing when it's still a little bit sticky, because it will not help it. I'm just trying to get all the surface done. I haven't done the very bottom yet. I need to do that. I'm sure Mr. Beall could give me some pointers on this. And my friend John has talked to Mr. Beall on the phone and gotten some pointers. I'm feeling a little clumsy with it myself right now. Let's see, there we go. That's one round. Okay, I'm going to do the bottom of it now. I forgot to do it with the Tripoli. I can feel this thing pulling my bowl when I get it to a certain point, and you really got to be careful with it. You don't want to have all your work smashed against the floor or the bed of the lathe, the waves of the lathe. Okay, there's that. Now let's try the wax. This is carnauba wax. They are marked. You see, this is marked wax. Now, according to my friend who has talked to Mr. Beall, you just hold this thing on for 3 seconds. I've got it running at 1700 and 1675. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. A little bit of wax. Now let's see what the wax is going to do to this thing. We're going to hold it tight, bring it up carefully, right there. Light pressure. Try to go around this way with it. Get the center. You know, it's a wonderful smooth surface. I still can see the irregularities in my finish, so I think that means I had to sand it more to begin with. I'm probably going to go back and try to sand it some, and that means I got to sand off the wax. But as I said, I'm living and learning how to do this thing. Okay, around this thing. This is working better doing the whole side, back and forth like this. Light pressure. It likes to grab that edge, so you have to watch it. I'm talking to myself as much as anything. Well, that's the whole thing right there. Now, I think I haven't quite got what I want, so I'm going to have to do something more to it. A little sanding, a little wax, I'm not sure what. I don't like the way it's finishing up on the inside. I still see some of the marks from the 600 grit sandpaper that I used on it on the inside. The outside is looking quite good. I have a few little drips of the water locks in it. I can see now in this light. So give it a little blow off. Well, there it is. I think I can do better, but that's my first shot at it. So you get to see the first shot trying to get this thing right, and maybe you can learn some things that, like I have. So I hope you have, and so I may do another one of these on the buffing system. I will see, but that's certainly not quite happy with it. So I'm sure it's not the buffing system's fault. It's mine. It's the operator, I'm sure, and we'll try to get that thing straightened out. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.